Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. Selamat tengah hari. Similarly lah with Yang Berhormat Lim Kit Siang, we find it extremely strange, where the Speaker of the House is supposed to be our biggest defender of the independence of the Parliament, of the rights and the immunities that's granted to privileges and immunities that's granted to members of Parliament, and to see that he is the one who makes the report is something which is is beyond belief lah. Ni macam kita ni mengharapkan pagar yang makan padi. Dia yang sepatutnya menjadi pihak yang membela hak ahli Parlimen, membela kedudukan Dewan Rakyat sebagai satu dewan yang mempunyai kedudukan yang istimewa, yang boleh membahaskan segala isu-isu selain daripada apa yang telah disebutkan di dalam perlembagaan. Itu saja, ya. Tetapi apabila dia yang membuat bagaikan cadangan kepada polis untuk mengambil tindakan terhadap tiga bekas menteri, ini merupakan satu perkara yang it's out of the world lah, ya. You're the one who's supposed to defend. You're the one who's supposed to say, no, hands off. Ya, polis jangan masuk dalam Dewan Rakyat. Polis tak ada hak nak ambil tindakan terhadap ahli-ahli Parlimen dan sebagainya. Dia yang sepatutnya membela kami. Ya. Tetapi apa yang telah berlaku adalah sebaliknya. Ya. Maka ianya hanya menambahkan kekhawatiran kita terhadap keberkesanan dan keberlangsungan sistem demokrasi berparlimen yang seperti mana yang sepatutnya. Ya. Dahlah isu 1MDB nak dibahas, Department of Justice nak dibahas, telah diisytiharkan sebagai subjudis, walaupun ianya tidak ada kena-mengena dengan mana-mana mahkamah di dalam negara ini. Ianya merupakan satu keputusan yang dipertikaikan ramai. Lepas itu ditambah pula apabila kebebasan dan kekebalan ahli Parlimen digadaikan dan dipersoalkan dan dikhianati oleh Speaker Dewan Rakyat sendiri. Ya. Ini menjadi satu perkara yang cukup besar dan cukup bahaya bagi institusi demokrasi berparlimen di negara, di negara kita. Ya.
For 8 years, you have known of the famous parliamentary episode in the United Kingdom some 400 years ago. On the 4th of January 1642, when King Charles I entered the House of Commons to arrest 5 members of Parliament for high treason. When the King asked the Speaker at the time, William Denpole, if he knew of the location of these members, the Speaker famously replied, "May it please your Majesty, I have neither eyes to see nor tongue to speak in this place. But as the House is pleased to direct me, whose servant I am here." The Speaker is the servant of the House. "And I humbly beg your Majesty's pardon that I cannot give any other answer than this to what your Majesty is pleased to demand of me." The Speaker is the servant of the House. I'm not suggesting that Pandikar should emulate William Lenthal and be prepared to sacrifice his political career, let alone his life, because the Speaker that 400 years ago could have been executed, to protect parliamentary honours, privileges and immunity. But I stand corrected if he is not the only Speaker in the world to openly suggest, or to use the words of Tun Mahathir's lawyer Hanif Kariri, incite police report or police action against members of Parliament when he called a media conference last Thursday to suggest that the 3 former cabinet ministers, former DPM Mohideen, Rural and Regional Development Minister Shafi, and former second Finance Minister Husni, might have broken their oath of secrecy as cabinet ministers when debating the budget in Parliament, which was as good as a public reprimand of the Attorney General and Inspector General of Police for dereliction of duty and instigation for them to act against Mohideen, Shafi and Husni. I've reread the speeches of Mohideen, Shafi and Husni in the Parliament Hansard, which confirmed that neither one of them has said anything during their speeches in the budget to reveal any cabinet secret which Malaysians and the world have not known before about the 1MD financial scandal. I fully agree with Shafi, the president of Party Barisan Sabah, is puzzled as to how Pandikar knows about the speeches of the three former cabinet ministers having breached OSA when the speaker was not privy to cabinet discussions on 1MDB and would not know if anything said in the cabinet was repeated by them in Parliament. Shafi and asked, I don't know what under the Official Secrets Act have been revealed by us in Parliament, and I just wonder how did the speaker know the very fact that there is information that is sealed under OSA. Who revealed to him? The former Rural Development and Regional Minister asked. This is a good question which Pandikar should answer in his next media conference, I hear later today, is it? I commend the second Finance Minister, Johari, for saying that he saw no wrong in Husni's speech, as Johari should know better than Pandikar whether the three former ministers had violated cabinet secrecy in their speeches in Parliament. I thought that good sense had finally prevailed and that there would be a good end to the sudden and completely unnecessary crisis over parliamentary privileges and immunities of Malaysian MPs when the police postponed their interview with Husni on Monday. But the police summoned of the former DPM to record his statement over allegations of leaking cabinet secrets while debating in the 2017 cabinet budget, although the exact date has not been fixed, seems to show that the parliamentary crisis created by Pandikar as a result of the media conference last Thursday is very much alive. And on Monday, Shafi Abdal will be summoned to the police at Monday 10 o'clock to give a statement on his so-called breaking the law by speaking in Parliament. This is why I made a call to Pandikar 2 days ago to partly retract his media conference statement last Thursday that the three former cabinet ministers may have broken their oath of secrecy as cabinet ministers, and to publicly and boldly reiterate and reaffirm the traditional parliamentary principle that Malaysian MPs enjoy parliamentary privileges and immunity, and the police should not challenge the parliamentary privileges of members of parliament except in clear-cut cases provided by the Constitution that is violating the Sedition Act 1948 in questioning any matter, right, status, position, privilege, sovereignty or prerogative established or protected by the provisions of Part 3 of the Federal Constitution, Article 152, Article 153 or 181 of the Federal Constitution, which does not apply in the case of the three former cabinet ministers. The debate on the 2017 budget by parliamentary backbenchers have ended after 6 days of debate. And we have now the ministers replying. I called on the Prime Minister to be in Parliament on Monday. This is the last day of the winding up, to assure Parliament that his government would uphold, honour and respect the traditional parliamentary privileges and immunities of Malaysian MPs, and that his government would not countenance any police or criminal action against MPs for speaking up in Parliament on the 1MDB scandal. Before I ask others, I'll just add on, I think this matter very grave. This is the second time in the history of Malaysia that MPs' privileges and immunities are being undermined, and we propose to call a meeting of all MPs and ex-MPs, former members of Parliament, ministers, to come in Parliament on Tuesday to discuss a common strategy of action and response. And I've spoken to Dr. Mahathir, and he's very supportive, and maybe he will be able to come. And of course, we will have Mohideen, we have hopefully Shafi Abdal and Husni, in order to work out a strategy as to how MPs must respond to this new challenge. And ask the Speaker to come. The Speaker to come to this meeting, explain what he has done, what he's doing to defend parliamentary immunities and privileges. And we invite all the Barisan National ministers and MPs to attend, because this doesn't concern opposition MPs alone. It concerns all Barisan MPs, all MPs. Khalid?
This is an unprecedented situation. Unprecedented because the Constitution is very clear every MP has immunity for anything said within Parliament, except under certain exceptions under the Sedition Act. Now, these three ministers clearly talked about 1 MDB. Therefore, clearly under the Constitution, they have total protection. So what the police are doing now is illegal and in complete breach of the Constitution. And what is surprising, of course, is that one would think that all the MPs, including the Barisan Nasional MPs, would stand together and speak out against this outrage. Unfortunately, we don't see that happening. Worse than that, and I'm very disappointed that the Speaker himself, who knows the law, who we know knows the Constitution, himself, despite knowing that Article 63 of the Federal Constitution confers immunity, except in the case of Sedition Act, as I mentioned, and that's not the case here. Okay, those MPs were talking about 1 MDB, so it doesn't apply. They had immunity. That the Speaker himself, in those circumstances, himself suggested that a crime had been committed. That is shocking. That is shocking. He should have come out and defended in view of the position that he occupies. So, very simple. It's an illegal investigation, unconstitutional. It should be dropped, and there must be an explanation as to why the executive is doing this, is allowed to do this in our country. The Constitution must be respected. Thank you.
Before we have a Q&A, we have asked the hero of today, Najib. Nothing to you.
Okay.
I have two issues here, but I'm going to just address the first issue first, and then maybe the next VC will address the second issue. The first issue is Speaker chasing me out of the chamber today. I think it is very disappointing. This is my first chase out. This is my first chase out, and the chronology is when he rejected my request for him to review his decision in regards to my motion on referring Najib to the Privileges Committee. And what is very sad to me is that the Speaker continuously, from his statement, alluded that I was questioning the integrity and the professionalism of the civil service, when it is very clear, and I was trying to explain that when I stood up, and I was asking for an opportunity to explain myself, when it is very clear that when I raised the motion, it was to refer the member of Pekan to the Privileges Committee and not any member of the civil service. I wasn't questioning the estimates, but I was questioning the budget speech that was given by the Finance Minister, who is also the Prime Minister, which I claim to distort and also mislead the House on the 21st of October. So I will give details on this issue later, on the distortion, but at this point I'm very disappointed with the decision, and I do not think that I should be chased out, because it is my right and it is the right of my constituent to have me represented, to have them represented in the chamber. I was told that I'm going to be out of the chamber for 2 days, today and also Monday. Thank you.
The MP for Puchong also intervened just now. Maybe Puchong? Yeah? No. Okay. Any questions? Any questions? If not, thank you very much. All right.
Yesterday, Kepada as long as you guys don't interfere.
Well, we have been described as a Satan, as a devil, as something that cannot be
Enemy of Islam.
Huh?
Enemy
of Islam. So we'll have to study the statement. I only hope that nobody is playing games to send users to send a message to UMNO that unless 355 comes up, then the cause is something to show to UMNO. Okay? I have no comment. I know further nothing to add. What? On Tuesday will be in Parliament House. Details will be announced on Monday. But you will be in Parliament House. You hopefully in Parliament House you get all MPs, Barisan MPs and ministers, you get former MPs, and I think probably to Mahathir will come.
Yesterday, opposition leader, the leader said you're open.
Oh yeah, we are all open. We have always been open.
Are you guys going to have to
Well, the DB stand is very clear. We are in support of a one-to-one fight so that we can, in a better condition, to ensure not only the toppling of Najib, but ensure a change to the system, that there will be no second Najib. But unfortunately, and one MDB. Unfortunately, we have people who seem to support one MDB. Okay.